Hey guys, welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe and I'm joined by Nathan. And this week we're talking about a iconic British show on the BBC, Inside Number 9. I'm a huge fan of it, but however, Nathan has never watched it before.
Yes.
Little bit of backstory for this episode. I've given him 3 episodes to watch, and we're going to be discussing each of them as we go along in chronological order, of course. How are you, Nathan?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I'm curious to hear your reasoning for these specific episodes, but I'm sure we'll get to it.
Of course, yeah. Like, for anyone that doesn't know what Inside Number 9 is, it's like I wouldn't even call it like it's such a like amalgamation of genres of what it is, because every episode, like, it is based in comedy because Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton are comedians, actors, and they've created a bunch of different series before: League of Gentlemen, Psychoville, and Inside Number 9, probably amongst many more as well. But Inside Number 9 has like a bunch of different. It's never like a series is never like one long story. It's all separate stories per episode. But yeah, Nathan, do you want to give a rundown of what Inside Number 9 is? That you do the honors.
Do I have to? I mean, I think you just did it, do you?
Yeah.
So, as previously stated, Inside Number 9, created by Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, aired 5th of February 2014 to the 12th of June 2024. 9 seasons or series, 55 episodes. I know overseas folks would be like, what? That's like a season, but not in the UK, okay? Our seasons are like 4 to 6 episodes at most. Jaws will drop and spines will tingle. Heads might even roll. Darkly twisted comic tales from the imaginations of Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, joined by a host of stars. Thank you, BBC.
Yes. I mean, it's pretty accurate as well, like, because again, I think like the thing is with Inside Number 9, it always starts with like there's a 9 somewhere at the start of the episode, and there's always some kind of twist at the end of it. That is like the main thing that like each episode of Inside Number 9 you'll take away from it. And of course, like it says like a host of stars as well. They always have like a guest star like as well, like someone else is in there. But I've chosen 3 episodes for Nathan to watch. Obviously, I don't know if you heard of the series before I mention it to you at all.
No, it's TV, and I don't watch TV. So
Nathan doesn't. I mean, that's why like it's probably like the best time for this to like happen right now, because when this episode releases, so early January, it will be the last of the tour of Inside Number 9 as well. So they did their whole series, and then they're doing a stage show as well, which is going on for just over a year, I believe, and it is wrapping up in the Ventim Apollo at the start of this year. It's the last few shows. So kind of got into this a little bit of backstory of why we've done this episode. I went and watched the stage play back in November.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of reignited my love for the series. I finished it all this year, but then obviously got tickets to the show as well. But I was like, Nathan's never actually watched this series before. I'd like to get his thoughts on it as well. So,
okay.
So he chose 3 episodes. Series 1, Episode 2, A Quiet Night In. Series 2, Episode 2, The 12 Days of Christine. And Series 4, Episode 2, Bernie Clifton's Dressing Room. But before we get into those other 2, we'll talk about A Quiet Night In. Do you want to give a rundown of what this episode is, Nathan? You're going to be doing loads of rundowns today, mate.
Well, not as many as the last one, but you know. So Series 1, Episode 2, A Quiet Night In. Hapless cat burglars Eddie Pemberton and Ray Shearsmith break into a luxury house to try to steal a painting, while Gerald, Dennis Lawson, and Sabrina, Una Chaplin, the couple who live in the house, argue. The episode progresses almost entirely without dialogue. That's very succinct. I will say the episode breakdowns I got from Wikipedia.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's real. Yeah.
Thanks, Wikipedia, for that. But that's a really succinct breakdown of exactly what happens, pretty much. Yeah. One person they didn't mention, but I want to ask you. Was that phone jacker at the end?
Yeah, that was K Van Novak right at the
Okay,
end.
I thought so. I was like, I
Just
swear I recognize that dude.
Yeah. Just a heads up as well. We're gonna be talking about the whole episode, so we will be probably talking about the twist at the end of the episode as well. So,
Yes.
I'm gonna give this like the blanket spoiler alert now because we're gonna be talking about the whole thing. But the reason I did choose this episode, Nathan, is because this is actually the first episode that I watched of Inside Number Nine.
I see.
I
I see.
I got recommended this to me, and I was told not to watch the first episode of series one, but actually this one. I was told like because I think this kind of summarizes like the series like as a whole. It's got like it's really well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really well written for one because despite it having zero dialogue, like you can like imagine all the the amount of action that's had to go into this, the comedy notes, like the twists at the end and stuff like that. There's so many layers to this one episode, I think, and yeah, so anyone that has watched it, I mean, the breakdown kind of speaks for itself there. But what did you think about it, Nathan? Your first episode of Inside Number Nine.
After hearing what you were told, I 100% agree. This is a very good example of what this show can be.
Yeah.
Because it's comedy. There are some dark moments. So it really does fall into the original description of the whole series. And then it is also just kind of funny because it's like there's that element of like old school like slapstick in there a little bit, you know,
It
and
is
it's
so
pretty good.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, it was a really good one because like you said, those slapstick elements of like you think that this is a comedy with like on those first looks of it, and it does do those comedy notes really well, but obviously everything that like comes through in it is just so there's so many dark moments in the whole series. And this is one thing about Inside Number Nine as well, like you never really know what you're gonna get from an episode because there are some really serious ones with like quite little comedy in it, but then you'll have a full-on what feels like a comedy episode just with a twist. So like there's like other there's episodes where it's a bit more horror like, there's like really like just really like thought-provoking stuff sometimes as well, and some of it's just fucking weird. But yeah, I got told to watch this one just because like again because it's the way it's written and stuff was a good intro to it. And then I went backwards and I've watched the first episode, and I can kind of see why I was told to watch this one first. I don't like obviously I won't go into it. The first episode is called Sardines, and it's got a whole load of different like guest characters in there as well. Like I think it's Catherine Parkinson, Tim Key, just another few British names in there. But yeah. It's hard to say like what else I could really shout about with this thing as well, because the I haven't actually watched this episode since I actually first got into it as well. So like I think I got into it back in maybe 2018, maybe I think is when I first got into the series.
Okay, that's
so a fair few years after it actually came out,
like 2014. So like it'd been a bit.
I know I was like definitely in Liverpool when I first got into it and that, but obviously haven't watched it since then. I kind of like remembered like roughly the whole concept of what happens in it. But there's also all the jokes in between that I completely forgot about. The dog stuff, for example.
Oh god. Oh, that was something.
Yeah, it's like
wasn't expecting that.
Jeez. It's the moment like he picks up the dog to just throw it out the window, like the patio, and then just hear that boom. And then what follows on from there is just
mate, what follows is just like, oh god, it's and it's the fact that it's like completely like they don't speak, so then you're just watching this happen, and you're like, obviously, you know, from a real life perspective, they didn't really do it. But you know when you're just like the implication is just like fuck.
It's the shock that comes from it. It's that kind of punchline where you're like, oh fuck, okay.
Well, it's like
you off guard.
It's like later on where they have to go upstairs to get the thing the painting,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they find out that it's not a woman.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't even that long, but it was just another like joke they threw in there that
Yeah.
worked perfectly. It was good, but you know when you're just like, well, okay, what the fuck?
It's just so like there's so many jokes that catch you off guard with it. I think and they just keep on coming as well. They're short, snappy jokes. Either a joke will just pop up like maybe every minute or so. Just another thing that goes wrong. Like it's continuously something and something. And then you just get this moment where like it all goes downhill for Gerald, the guy who owns the house, where he just fucking shoots his wife. And then you're like, oh fuck, okay, I did not remember that at all. And then that's when you get Kayvan Novak's character, the cleaner guy, come in, do that stuff again. A well-known comedy actor who comes in and then fucking
mate. The funniest part with with Phone Jacker is when he comes down, he wants to buy. He's gonna take the string.
Oh yeah,
and he's like £7. £7, and he's like, oh god, got a tenner, and he's like, wait, and taps his little thing. He was like 2 items for £10. He's like, okay, and it's like it's really funny because it's also just this full on like physical comedy of it's very British in the sense that he like he does that whole body language thing like, oh god, then have a quick look like, no, not that, oh good, yeah, sure. I'll take the toilet brush. Yeah.
It's the toilet brush, which you think, oh, maybe like it'll be something else, but doesn't come into it again.
It's just a random item to buy. Brush. But it's also that that really British like awkward like look back, sort of like slight head bob, like cheers, mate. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Ta-ra. I'm
in
off.
the middle of this situation where like everything's going wrong. It's just insane.
But there's other moments of things like that. Like when they first break in.
Yeah.
They're like eating the toilet, and they're all miming this. Like, so you can see them like, speaking to each other, like, but without speaking. So you can kind of lip read a little bit, but they're also like acting it out. It's like, is he going for a wee, a number 1 or a number 2?
Yeah.
It's like, wee or a poo?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why does it matter? Because 1 is like 3 minutes or 2 minutes, and 1 is 10 minutes. It's like 10 minutes. What do you mean 10 minutes?
It's
3 minutes.
Just not...
What do you mean 3? Like they have this whole stupid conversation without having a conversation, and you're like, bro, you're stealing something. What are you doing?
What was so good about that as well is like he does the 3-minute symbol, and then Steve's character's like, fair enough.
Well, he does a little clap and he's like, oh, cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All of these just cutaway moments in it. It is just spectacular. You forget about all those bits like after so long. Because obviously, like I said, there's 55 episodes of this thing. So, and that's one that stood out to me. But there's so many other episodes from early on in the series, which I kind of remember the setup of it, but I don't remember all the intricate lines and details of it because all this is the whole series is so well written, and there are again like with a series like this where each episode is gonna be a different setup and a different scenario, a different twist. There are some episodes you're like, that one's okay, and then there's gonna be some which are like, that is a top tier episode. Like probably one of those series where you could easily do like a tier system kind of thing. It'd be like, okay, that would be an S1, that would be like because there's so many different episodes that come through. A majority of them are like really great,
I mean,
but,
that makes sense though. If you think about it, like each episode is its own thing, and you have to write 55 of them.
Yeah.
There are obviously going to be ones where you just like, that's a banger. I have the best idea. There's other ones where you're like, it's fine. It's an idea. Let's just we'll roll with it. We'll fix it.
Yeah. I feel like it definitely comes down to like what kind of viewer you are as well. Because there's certain episodes which I probably think are quite meh, but then someone else out there that's probably their favorite episode. You know what I mean? I think it all comes down to a matter of taste for those ones. But I think the reason why I've chosen these 3 episodes is, I mean, certain reasons for each one, but the reason obviously Quiet Night In was my first episode that I watched. So I was like, I'll get you on the same pathway that I did. But from that, Should we move on to 12 Days of Christine?
Yes.
Because
Okay.
yeah,
So, Series 2, Episode 2, The 12 Days of Christine. Christine Sheridan Smith meets Adam, Tom Riley, at a New Year party. Her life begins to unravel around her as events seem to take place out of sequence, and she is haunted by visions of an unknown man. The episode takes place over 12 days or 12 holidays and important occasions in Christine's lifetime at intervals of 13 months. This episode confused the absolute shite out of me by the end of
yeah,
it. Because, like,
yeah.
I know it says out of order, but
Mm-hmm.
it gets, like, really, really out of order towards the end.
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
first half is sort of like it says every 13 months or so, right? So it's like, yeah, okay, she meets him, they're dating. Like, it sort of
Mhm.
follows some sort of chronological something. Like, the skips kind of make
Yeah.
sense. And then all of a sudden, like, stuff starts happening, and like,
Mhm.
it's like, does this event take place before or after the last one? And then the next thing
Yeah.
happens, and you're like, did that take place before or after the last one? And then sometimes they swap back and forth really fast. Well, not like
Yeah.
really fast, but you know what I mean? Like, they're playing like parts of one event and parts of another one almost like
Yeah.
in
It's
symmetry. So
a really weird one because it is all in chronological order. But I think it's one of those ones where like there's certain bits where you perceive a thing and it's like, what does that even mean? Like, and there's so many quick cuts as well. Like, for example, like I think it was in the Easter bit where suddenly she thinks that she's been haunted by this guy, like who's like throwing eggs and stuff like that. And but then it cuts the next bit and then it's like nothing happened with it because life has just moved on. And then
that's
you
the
get
other
like
part I didn't understand.
yeah.
Was like
Mm-hmm.
it's not really explained either that this haunting, this unknown
Mm-hmm.
man, this whole other plot that turns sinister, you know, like it's not explained at all. It just happens. Sometimes it just
Yeah.
happens in between her also just living her life and you watching it either get better or worse or whatever over time. So like that also really confused me because I was just like, what is the significance of this
Yeah.
guy? Or is it like, is he supposed to just be like symbolism for like fears and delusions and things? Like what is it?
Yeah.
I really don't understand.
Yeah. It's one of those things like it really does confuse because then I think it's the Valentine's Day bit where it's revealed that no, I think it's Valentine's and then it's Mother's Day. Those two consecutive ones where she gets a post like a card from her
Ex-boyfriend, but that was when she was
yeah.
like 12.
Yeah, and then she finds out on the Mother's Day bit where her ex-boyfriend actually died when she was 16. So she kind of like pieces that together like that's a bit weird. And then that's when you go into Easter and then she's like, oh my God, I'm being haunted by someone. And you got all of those 3 dates back to back. And then you think, oh, she's being haunted by her like ex-boyfriend from when he was 16 or something. Cause like you see these like certain bits and you think,
I
wait,
mean,
what is the thing? What is the significance of this? That's what it's led to believe, like for you to believe.
That's what you're led
anyway.
to believe, but then at the same time, it's like, okay, but then it's also a fully grown man. Whenever it's like horror, and you know when
exactly,
you're like,
yeah,
but I don't know. It depends on your people's depictions of like what happens. But you know when you're like, so you're led to believe that that man is the ghost of
yeah.
the. But then again, it's still just like.
But then it's quickly disproven that like, okay, that isn't him. I think you start making theories up in your mind of like, what does this actually mean? What does this actually mean?
But that's what I'm saying.
Then
Like, it just it's like
yeah,
they seemingly give you an explanation, but they don't, and it's
yeah,
never truly explained. And he also, after all, just doesn't come back.
yeah. But
you know what I mean?
about
like,
but it all kind of comes up. It's all like wrapped up in the end, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, because obviously each bit is like the significant, like it's all because it's like her life flashing before her eyes, and she gets those like there's all like those kind of hints, like the eggs, for example, where like the eggs hitting the dashboard of the car crash. Then there's like what was it when she walks in and then that guy's got her kid and he's holding it like the Halloween episode. Then just found out that he's the guy that walked into the middle of the road, but she swerved it and like he survived obviously, but obviously is in a car crash. He saved her son, but obviously couldn't save her. And then there's other certain bits, like I think it's on was it the Christmas one or the one before? I think it might have been the fireworks one, where like she's walking through and then there's like the cars on the playset and stuff like that, where like there's all like, so it's there's an ambulance scene, there's the fireman reference, there's all of these references which are dropped into each day as it like basically means something in that her final moments.
Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't be watching this before I go to sleep. I've clearly
Did you?
didn't pick up on as much,
Okay.
or it
Yeah,
may
yeah.
just be that in a first watch through, you just don't know these things because
Yeah.
you're still trying to
It's-
comprehend everything that's already happening.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I mean, like I did watch it and I was paying attention, but so
Mhm.
like I don't know. I guess things just haven't clicked. But like,
I think maybe it's like a thing that I get from a first watch, from the first watch through and second watch through, because I think like there's certain bits that you wouldn't really pick up on, because there's like the eggs and like the playset thing. You don't really realize the significance of them until that end moment. You know what I mean? So you just think, oh, they're just random throwaway bits, or like, oh, maybe that means something. You could try and, if you're looking at it and trying to think of what it means, then it's like, okay, like you can try and come to your conclusions, but at the end of the episode, that's when it is all revealed. And I think it's because I have a slight idea in mind about what that episode was going into that second watch through of it. Maybe it does help with that. Maybe it does.
I think it does.
You're
'cause,
looking
like,
for those
when
things.
when you're first going through it. At least this is my experience. Is that there's just so much happening, and again, you're still trying to comprehend the time skips and the things that
Yeah.
are happening, whilst also just seeing what's happening on screen. And like, it doesn't feel like, at least the first time round, that you have enough time to sit there and ponder the like, oh, there's right, so that happened. So now, oh right, so go back to this. I'm still sitting there like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah. It's a proper deep one. I think again, the reason why I've chosen this one as well is because this is an episode that fans of Inside Number 9 hold this to quite critical acclaim. They're like, this is one of the best episodes of Inside Number 9.
Okay.
And it's probably not my favorite. I think it is a good episode, and obviously everything about it is well written. It's just I feel like there's better ones, and maybe it's not completely my vibe because it's a bit more serious and it's a bit more of like the story of the
that makes sense from your reasoning. I can see why it would be critically acclaimed or like, like well regarded. It does feel like one of those ones where like, sometimes somebody tells you to watch a thing, or they tell you like, oh man, it's one of those where if you watch, every time you watch, you're like you notice something new, and you're like,
yeah,
that's cool and all, but like I'm not one to tend to rewatch things a whole lot.
I'm
so,
also
like,
I get that completely.
well, it
I think
depends
I'd
on
be
the
the
thing,
same
but,
as you.
you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't tend to rewatch a lot, so yeah.
No, I get that as well. I'm quite the same. Unless it's like one of my favorite ever things. That's the only time
exactly.
I'll ever rewatch it. But like what's quite funny about this episode as well is that obviously because this is like one of the biggest like critically acclaimed one for fans. I think Reese and Steve have actually said on interviews before that it's one of the things that fans always come up to them and say, "Oh, I love Inside Number 9. This one's my favorite episode," and they're like, "Oh, great! It's the one that we're not." It's like because they're like Steve and Reese are featured in every single episode. They're always like prominent characters. They'll play the main two. This is probably one of the only ones where they don't do that. so when fans come up to and say, "This is my favorite one," it's like, "Oh, great! Okay, it's the one that we're we're not actually in it as much."
I mean, that's one way to perceive it. I suppose, but you know what it's like. I mean, you guys still wrote it. Like,
I'm sure it's a joke more than anything, but it's quite funny that this is the one that everyone loves. But I think this leads us, I think, to our next episode.
This is the one I need to hear your reasoning the most. I have an interpretation of this. I won't fully go into.
Yeah.
But
okay, yeah.
So, Series 4, Episode 2, Bernie Clifton's dressing room. Double act Cheese, Shearsmith, and Crackers, Pemberton, have reunited after 30 years to perform in front of an audience, but an incident that caused them to fall out comes back into the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I've watched this, and without going too much into personal things, this one kind of hit close to home.
Okay, yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know why. But
Mm-hmm.
you would. But
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear your reasoning for why you picked this one specifically.
I think this one is probably one of my. I think this is one of my favorite episodes of Inside
Okay.
Number 9. I think it's up there, and I think each of these have a reasoning. And obviously, Quiet Night In was the first episode I watched. Christina's fans' favorite. I think this is one of my favorites. I think if not my favorite episode.
So okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It just happens to be coincidental, then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I would go because like I didn't want to read too much into it, but like the things that happen in this,
Mm-hmm.
again for me personally, kind of hit a sore spot in a way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I was like, why is it?
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
there? I wasn't sure if there was like a deeper meaning to
Yeah,
this.
I do apologize if it's
No.
brought up anything. No.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But it was just kind of one of those where I was like, is there a deeper meaning to your choice of this,
No,
or like
I think it's one of those ones where you'd never like with this whole episode with Bernie Clifton's dressing room. You think it's quite lighthearted for a lot of it, and then but obviously there's undertones of this featured throughout where obviously they was it with the two characters, they have like history, but they're also like they haven't worked together for so long because of that history. And it's more Reese's character that has aggravation with Steve's one, Cheese and Crackers, and like they're performing after so long, and you get these hints of like, oh, there's something up, and then oh, it's Bernie Clifton's dressing room. You did this, like you've ruined our whole career, and that's when you find out that what the truth is. Again, this is spoiler for this episode, that Steve's character has actually passed away, and he's just talking to a ghost of his friend.
Yeah, it's almost like a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, and I think because I was unsuspecting of that twist until it happened when the first retro, and that's the thing that gave me like the whoa, hold on, what the fuck, this is a mad twist. And then not only do you find that twist out that Steve's character's passed away, but then you get that number at the end where it's a musical number. It's what they as friends used to do all the time, and it's everything about that, and it kind of like just describing that whole thing. I think it's so beautifully written. It's stories of friends like having their highs and lows, but then also the grief that comes with it, and then the memory of a friend that you've lost. I think that's what I mean. There's so many daft jokes in it, stuff that is so like prime time, like 80s, like comedy duo. The little dance they do is so of that time. But then it's just heartbreaking at the same time. I think that's what it for me. It's like it's the saying goodbye, and it's the dealing with that. I think there's so many messages with it, which I thought are just it's a great watch for me. That was my reasoning anyway. Yeah.
I see. There was other reasons I thought you might have picked this specifically to tailor to trying to get me to understand this show.
Yeah.
The first one being when they're like, oh, let's practice the interview sketch.
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
on my day.
And he so
yeah.
Crackers is doing impressions, and they were all like stereotype like impressions.
It's dated. It's dated comedy.
It's very dated, very of the 80s, like a long time ago. And and he's like told like, oh, we can't do that anymore. You can't do a Chinese impression. That's racist.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just want people to laugh at a guy doing some daft voices.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? And there were a couple of things like that I thought, is this why you told me to watch this?
No,
Is
oh
this
my
what you
god, no,
wanted me to see?
imagine if that was the one reason. But no,
the thing is,
yeah.
right? If that was your reason, I'd be like, I kind of get it. That was
Yeah.
my sense of humor for far too
Mhm.
long, and still
Yeah.
kind of is. You know, taking the piss out
Yeah.
of my own people, but like,
Yeah.
it was stuff like that I was like, is that it? Is that it? Then there's obviously the like the deeper parts that again
Yes, yeah.
we're not going to touch
Mhm.
on really. Also because it's part of the thing you should watch. Even though we gave away the biggest part, there's still other
Yeah, yeah.
there's still other parts that you should definitely watch this episode for.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, you s- you you said there's like hints of like
Mhm.
something going wrong, but I'm like, I wouldn't say it was hints. It felt
Yeah, yeah.
pretty like apparent, like
Yeah.
from the start that like there's some bitterness there, especially because like they start off and one of them's all like, "Oh mate, oh I can't wait for us to work together again," and he's like, "You always stole the bloody laugh.
Yeah.
Stick to the script." Like one is so joyful and like gung ho about let's do the comedy, and then there is one character that is straight up like miserable from the
Mhm.
beginning, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Like,
I
just
don't know
doesn't
that
wanna
that
be in,
yeah.
like,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't
It's,
know that that's a hint as much as it's just like
I
hit you
think
over the
it
head
was
like
more
he's
like I I think like that was obviously I think it's very like blatant with their relationship that obviously they're at button heads. I think it was the reason why Cheese and Crackers split up, I think, which is the thing. Like they keep bringing up the
yeah,
Bernie Clifton's dressing room thing, but then they never say straight away of what happened in Bernie Clifton's dressing room. And then that's when the argument happens, and it's like that's where it turns out like that's when he's like, I love performing, and like I did this, but like
it
it's because of you that
like
like
after some of the stuff was being revealed, I did
mm-hmm,
start noticing some bits,
mm-hmm.
like when he's like going through his stuff, and then I started noticing, I'm like, actually, yeah, he does look a bit dirty, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the it is obviously a like yeah, Steve's character's obviously run on hard times, and that's what you're led to perceive that. And the reason why like Reese's character comes in is because oh it's it's I've only done this because your daughter said about what happened, and he's like, what do you
Yeah,
mean what my daughter said? And it's
yeah,
like,
what she
don't worry,
said.
let's move on.
Yeah,
And it's those hints, and then it's like then you find out, oh, you've been homeless, haven't you, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh no, I didn't want to tell you because you there's I think that's the one thing about this, which like again, as I said before, there's layers to that friendship that they had, and it's also like I didn't want to bother you with my problems, and
yeah,
but like there's also there's that kind of level of like I I can't tell you about my problems, but then that friend is like, well, tell me about them. Why haven't you told me? And then it's like, well, you're off doing your other things. And it's
yeah,
like it's the parting ways, which I think a lot of people can probably relate to in
yeah,
some capacity. And it's that kind of stuff. And I think that's why I do like this is it's that the writing in it is so relatable, and but also it verges but it's got that good twist there, as I said. And I think that it just adds this the more I talk about it, the more the reason why I do love this kind of thing. I did want to ask, did you ever have the inkling that um Steve's character was no actually dead in this?
no, I foresaw his main problem. Not that it's not a big old once it starts kicking off like that you don't, especially because it's like, oh, can make you want a cup of tea, and it's like, hang on a sec, what was that there for? Like as an audience member, you're like, as a viewer, you're like, why was it what you just said tea? That was an extra bit. I'm trying to dance around it because again, it's like I don't want to give away too much of the episode because like I agree with you. This is really well written, and I I do actually believe that this one should be one that should be watched and not
Yeah.
have us like
Of course, yeah. That's. I mean,
fucking
yeah.
say
That's.
everything, because then it's like
Yeah.
you really lose out on the like impact of everything that happens. But like that's the only thing I did kind of foresee. Like everything else, I was just kind of like, okay, well, they just some old mates. They did some stuff, and then something happened. They didn't work together for a long time. I didn't really
Mhm.
foresee much else.
No.
So
Yeah.
like once everything got to where it was, and like you have that final number, which I'm assuming was their little routine that they did to round out their show, because they mention it all the
Pretty
time.
much. Yeah.
They had a show on like local TV for they had it for like a
One
season or
series.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's I'm assuming that routine for Tears of Joy was
Yeah.
their like ender for the
I believe,
episodes.
yeah, because I think it's kind of like that thing of like, I think it's Morecambe and Wise that always had like a song at the end of the show or something like that. It's like that kind of that comedy thing that like duos used to do back in the day, like when they're like comedy like variety show or whatever it might have
Yeah.
been. There's a right word for it. There's a very like specific, like there was it with comedy duos in the UK. There was always. It's like kind of thing that you would do. It's like you do your little routines, you do your sketches, their bits, like they did in this episode, and then you'd end it on a song. Like you just
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like what is it? I can't remember what the Morecambe and Wise song is. It's a really famous one. But I can't remember for the life of me what the name of it is. But like if yeah, I think you would even know it if you heard it. It's yeah, it's just not jumping out to me right now. But yeah.
But yeah, it was a good and poignant way to end the episode as well,
Yeah.
considering what happens. Like it is also that like kind of like a message to himself. Like don't hold on to it and just cry tears of joy. Remember the good times and that. So it was I can see from everything you were saying why this would be your favorite episode. So one was very strong. Then again, I've only watched 2 other ones, so
Yeah.
I have no other frame of reference besides what you have told me to view.
But there's again, like as I said, there's a load of other episodes in this series which I'm sure other people are like, this is my favorite one, or there'd be a twist in a certain one where people are like, this makes it my favorite. Bernie Clifton's dressing room, I think a lot of people when they do watch it are like, okay, I did love this, like everything that came from it. But yeah, for me, this is the one reason why I was like, this is like everything about it makes you feel so much of it. So yeah, that was on that.
Fair.
But yeah, inside number 9, that is 3 episodes. Have you enjoyed your experience watching those 3 episodes?
Yeah, I very much did. If I was more inclined to remember to use iPlayer and stuff and watch TV, I probably would actually watch more of it. But
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
We both do it,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go back to YouTube and just binge watch whatever the fuck I watch on there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one thing I would like say, oh yeah, would you watch more? I know, like, if it was more accessible for you, I think you probably would watch, but I know what your viewing habits are at this point. Like,
Yeah.
But I'd say if you ever did have the time or whatever, like, I would recommend watching more and more of this show. It is, yeah.
Whilst my viewing habits probably won't bring me back round, I would actually watch more of this show. I get it. I'm quite interested. I would want to see some of the other episodes, see what's the crack, but I would recommend it for sure. Like if you're interested, it's I want to say it's a feat in itself. Like I know some people are gonna be like, it's only 55. I'm like, you write 55 different fucking
Yeah.
like not just like comedy sketches, but like you write fucking 55 different scenarios that are like fleshed out and shit. I can't even do one.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those ones where I think like if I tried to write something like this, it would be like a not even a half-assed attempt. I'd probably try my best, and I'd be like, "Fucking hell!" To write up something like this, it is a huge undertaking. Like
I know,
to hit all the notes that they do in this series. Like,
right? Like, you want to see our attempts? Go listen or watch pitches. See how
yeah,
often we struggle to come up with a thing, and we get random prompts and stuff. Like, so 55 of
yeah.
essentially pitches each time. Like, that's
And that is like if you did that like and hitting a nail on the head every fucking time is like that is like you see why like this is won awards as well. This is won BAFTAs, I believe,
no.
and
I'm
stuff
not
like that. So
surprised.
it's yeah, like
Not
they're
surprised at
they're they're
all.
just two very talented gentlemen.
Yeah, the
Steve and
acting's
Reese. So yeah.
is also really good because, like, sometimes you hear like, oh, comedians, and you're like, okay, it's not that comedians can't act. It's not that people can't act and can't learn to act. But I'm like, the action is very well acted. It's very,
Yeah.
very well
Oh
acted.
yeah.
Like, because sometimes people from other parts of show business cross
Hmm.
over and start doing acting, and you're like, yeah, it wasn't good, or it's fine. But this was at
Yeah.
no point was I like, ugh, ugh.
Nah. There's I don't think I've ever like watch an episode, I think that person's given a shit performance or whatever. I think I've always watched it and like even the guest stars and stuff like that. Like they always are like quite on point with it. So, but for the most part, anyway, there might be one or two people like, oh, I don't actually like this one. I'm like, it's not prevalent in my mind of any bad acting. So, yeah, just kudos to everyone involved in this series. I know it's ended now, but yeah, no, I think it just goes to show all the talent that comes from this. But yeah, I guess this brings this episode to a close. Any last words, I guess, Nathan, that you haven't already said?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I think you kind of like, so yeah, that's fair. I'd just go out and just say like, yeah, anyone that does love Inside Number Nine, I think, even like if you haven't watched it, obviously go watch it. I'm sorry for spoiling a bunch of stuff for you. And if you've watched all the series, I think this is like your opportunity to just go and rewatch more because like no matter how many times, I think it is a great series to just get back into. And remember, like, all the setups and comedy and twists that come from this. Please do go ahead and give it a watch, give it a rewatch, do whatever you need to. But yes, this brings the episode to a close. Let us know what your favorite episode of Inside Number 9 is. Is there any you'd want us to watch more of, I guess? Leave the comments below. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Cultured Boys videos. Check the links in our description. All of our podcast platforms are down there. And we will see you guys next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.